I died, choking on my own blood. The metallic tang flooding my mouth as the semi-truck's grill crumpled my windshield like tinfoil. My brother's taillights vanishing into the rain-slick night. That betrayal replayed in my final gasp, his whispered promise over the phone. Drive safe, little bro, right before he swerved into my lane. Eyes cold in the rear view, I'd glimpsed. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my 25-year-old body, heart pounding in the dim glow of my shitty apartment. 3 weeks before Dad's 50th birthday bash, the night it all went to hell the first time. I bolted upright in bed, sheets tangled around my legs like restraints from some psych ward nightmare. The clock blinked 3:17 a.m. Same as always when the insomnia clawed in. But this wasn't the endless loop of regret I'd lived post-crash in my old life. No. This was sharper. Electric, like waking from a coma, with all the king's horses reassembling your shattered bones. My hands, calloused from flipping burgers at that grease trap off I-95, trembled as I fumbled for my phone. The date, October 12th, 2018. 3 years before the wreck. 3 weeks before the family dinner where they'd branded me the black sheep one last time. Monroe? That you? My reflection in the cracked mirror across the room stared back. Eyes wild. Stubble patchy, like I'd aged a decade in seconds. I was me, but not. The scars from the fire, wait. No. That hadn't happened yet. In this timeline, I was still the screw-up kid, fresh out of community college with a business degree gathering dust, crashing on my sister's couch in suburban Philly while chasing ghost jobs in a market that chewed up dreamers like me. The first time around, that birthday dinner was the tipping point. Dad's big 5-0 at the country club, all crystal glasses and 4 smiles over prime rib. I'd shown up in my one decent button-down, pockets empty but heart full of some half-baked pitch about starting a tech startup. Monroe's got ideas again, my brother Harlan sneered, passing the potatoes like they were evidence in a trial. Harlan, the golden boy, Wall Street shark, married to that vapid influencer with the fake lashes, driving the Audi that screamed, "I made it." Mom tittered along, her pearls clacking like judgment. Oh. Honey, stick to what you know, maybe retail. Dad just grunted, eyes on his scotch. The man who'd once built a construction empire from nothing now reduced to nodding at Harlan's latest conquests. I'd swallowed it, like always. Laughed it off with a beer that tasted like bile. But that night, alone in the parking lot, Harlan cornered me. You're dragging us down. M.O. Dad's legacy? It's mine. Stay out of it. His fist connected with my gut before I could blink. A brotherly warning that left me wheezing against the valet stand. I drove home buzzed and broken, straight into his setup, the anonymous tip to the cops about my erratic driving, the tampered brakes on my beater Civic they swore were just wear and tear. The crash wasn't random, it was erasure. Harlan inherited everything. Mom got her alimony bump. And my sister Lila? She got the storybook villain arc, selling my tragic accident to true crime podcasts for clicks. Now, fuck that. I was back, armed with memories like loaded clips. Every lie, every backroom deal. The secret they'd buried deeper than my casket. Dad's company wasn't clean. Embezzlement. Kickbacks from shady contractors. Harlan had been cooking the books since college, with Mom turning a blind eye for her spa weekends. I'd stumbled on it the first time, 6 months before the dinner, rifling through Dad's old files in the attic. A flash drive hidden in a cigar box. Spreadsheets screaming fraud. I'd confronted Harlan privately. idiot that I was. Family first, right? He'd said, smashing my laptop and my jaw in the same swing. That was the real black mark, not my failures, but my threat to their empire. I swung my legs off the bed, feet hitting the cold laminate floor. The apartment reeked of takeout ramen and unwashed ambition. But it was mine, a one-room dive in Fishtown. Rent paid with gig economy scraps. First order, coffee. Black as Harlan's soul. As the pot gurgled, I paced, mind racing through the reset.
How?
Some cosmic joke? A glitch in the matrix? Didn't matter. What did? 3 weeks to flip the script. No more begging for scraps. I'd build something unbreakable. Something that'd make their jaws unhinge when I rolled up to that dinner not as the loser, but the reckoning. By dawn, I was at my laptop, salvaged from a pawn shop this time. No sentimental value to shatter. Crypto was booming in 18. Bitcoin flirting with 4 figures. Ethereum on the cusp. In my old life, I dismissed it as Ponzi bullshit. Too broke to play. Now, I knew the dips, the pumps, the regulatory whispers that'd send it soaring. I liquidated my savings $2,347 from odd jobs and dumped it all into ETH at $180 a coin. 13 coins, a prayer, and a middle finger. Then, options on Tesla. Musk's tweets were gold if you timed them right. I scraped freelance coding gigs on Upwork, pulling all-nighters to build an algorithm that scraped sentiment from Reddit and Twitter. Crude. But it'd predict swings better than CNBC clowns. Days blurred into a caffeine-fueled haze. I'd catch glimpses of the old me in the mirror, hollow cheeks, bloodshot eyes, but this version burned hotter. The calls from Mom went to voicemail. Darling, come for Sunday brunch? Harlan's promoting you too.
Well,
Something.
delete.
Lila's text. Miss you.
Bro.
Dad's stressed. Family meeting soon. Block. Harlan, radio silence. But I knew he was watching. His LinkedIn flexes about disrupting construction tech, masking the rot. Week 1. I hit a wall. The algorithm glitched, wiping a chunk of gains. I stared at the screen. $800 down. Pulse hammering like the night of the crash. Flashback, tires screeching, glass exploding. Harlan's voice on the dash cam. I never recovered. He had it coming. Rage boiled. But I breathed it out.
Adapt.
I pivoted today, trading SPY calls, riding the market's post-midterm jitters. By week's end, portfolio at $15,000. Pocket change, but momentum. Week 2. The controversial calls started gnawing. I needed leverage, real dirt, not just hunches. Hacking Dad's emails? Tempting, but sloppy. I'd end up in Lehigh County lockup before dessert. Instead, I drove to the old family home in Bryn Mawr, the McMansion with its manicured lawn and ghosts. Dad answered the door. Paunchier than I remembered. Scotch on his breath at noon. Monroe? What the boy? You look like hell. We sat in the den, leather chairs creaking under unspoken weight. Dad. The books. Harlan skimming. I saw it. His face crumpled, then hardened. Son. Family's all we got. Harlan's got mouths to feed, grandkids. You know, excuses. The same script. But this time, I didn't back down. Then cut me in. Or I walk. And take the flash drive with me. Bluff, I didn't have it yet, but his flinch told me volumes. He handed over a key to the safe, eyes pleading. Don't make me choose. MO. Inside. Ledgers. Emails. Wire transfers to offshore shells. Harlan's web. Spun with Mom's complicity, her charity fund siphoning kickbacks for Botox and Birkins. Lila knew too. Her art gallery, a front for laundering. The whole clan. A house of cards built on my father's fading empire. I photographed it all.
Heart-twisting.
Betrayal's knife cut deepest from kin. That night, back in Fishtown, I uploaded the docs to a burner drive, encrypted. But revenge? It whispered darker paths. Leak to the SEC anonymously? Ruin them overnight. But Dad'd take the fall hardest. Cancer whispers I'd ignored last time. Frame Harlan for something bigger. Like that union-busting scandal brewing?
Not
too risky. I'd need alibis.
cutouts.
The decision loomed. Controversial as hell. Mercy or massacre. I chose hybrid, build my own empire first. Let them feast on their greed. Then starve them at the table. Week 3. The bets paid off. ETH surged to $300 on a hard fork rumor I predicted via my script. Tesla popped 15% on a battery breakthrough tweet. Portfolio, $120,000. I cashed half into blue chips, Apple. Amazon diversifying like a pro. Sleepless. I networked on LinkedIn. Cold messaging VCs with a pitch deck on AI-driven construction analytics. Irony? Using Harlan's jargon against him. Bites came slow. But one fish, a seed round from a Philly angel investor. $250,000 for 10%. Valuation, $2.50 mil. On paper, I was worth millions before the ink dried. The day before the dinner, I stood in my apartment, now sublet furnished. A step up and suited up. Charcoal Tom Ford knockoff from Nordstrom Rack, but tailored sharp. Watch, a vintage Rolex I'd pawned for in the old life. Now reclaimed. Net worth app on my phone. $1.8 million liquid. Plus equity. Not Musk money, but enough to eclipse Harlan's bonus. I drove the rental Audi Q5, black as midnight, to the country club, rain pattering like the night I died. Heart steady. No buzz this time.
Sober. Armed.
The ballroom hummed with Philly elite, suits from Comcast, whispers from mainline blue bloods. Dad at the head table, crown thinning under string lights, Mom fluttering like a Botoxed butterfly. Harlan held court, arm around his wife Kendra. They're twins in monogram smocks. Lila hovered, Instagram ready in emerald silk, snapping candids. They spotted me weaving through, polite nods turning to frowns. Monroe?
You.
Clean up nice, Mom cooed, air kissing my cheek. Her perfume choked me. Chanel no. 5 laced with lies. Dinner dragged, toasts to Dad's legacy. Harlan's speech a masterclass in humble brag, from blueprints to blockchain. We're revolutionizing builds. Laughter rippled. I sipped water, smiling like a shark. Then my turn. Dad waved me off. Nah. Mo's the quiet type, but I stood anyway. Glass raised. To family. The ties that bind. Or strangle. Murmurs. Harlan's eyes narrowed. That predatory glint. Plates cleared. Cake wheeled out. Chocolate ganache. Dad's favorite. Candles flickered. 50 flames dancing. As he puffed them out, applause thundering. I pulled my phone. The app glowed. Net worth, $3.20 million. Projections ticking up on autopilot trades. Hey, everyone, I called. Voice cutting the din like a blade. Before we cut into Dad's big slice, thought I'd share something. Turns out, the black sheep's been sharing gold. Screens unlocked in unison as I airdropped the link, a sleek dashboard. Graphs spiking like heart monitors on meth. Gasps rippled. Mom's fork clattered. Harlan leaned in. Color draining. What the fuck? MO. Lila's phone slipped from manicured fingers. Dad blinked. Cake forgotten. Son.
How?
I let it hang. The room electric with whispers. Started small.
Code.
Crypto. A little foresight. While you all built on sand, I stacked bricks. Not the full truth. No mention of the drive burning in my pocket. The IRS tip line queued on speed dial. But the seed planted doubt. Envy. The first crack in their facade. Harlan lunged across the table. Napkin flying. This some scam? You hacking Dad's accounts. His voice cracked. That Wall Street polish peeling. Guests shifted. Phones out. Tomorrow's society page fodder. I held his gaze. Cool as the rain outside. Jealous. Brother? Or scared I'll audit yours next? The words landed like punches. Controversial as hell. Airing dirty laundry at a milestone. Turning celebration to Coliseum. Mom wailed. Monroe.
Stop.
This isn't you, but it was the me they'd forged in fire. Reborn in spite. Dad rose. Hand on my shoulder. Grip firm for the first time in years. Enough. Private.
Now.
We retreated to the lounge. Velvet curtains muffling the party's hum. Harlan paced. Kendra trailing like a shadow. Lila hovered by the door. Eyes darting guilt? Calculation? Spill it. MO? Dad growled. Where'd this come from? I slid the burner phone across the mahogany bar. Files blooming. Ledgers. Emails. Harlan's came in wires glowing like neon sins. From you.
Dad. The truth you buried.
Harlan's been bleeding the company dry. $4 million last quarter alone. Mom's donations. Kickbacks. Lila's gallery. Laundry service. Proof scrolled. Irrefutable. Harlan lunged again. But Dad's roar stopped him cold. You son of a how long? Harlan stammered denials. Sweat beading. Mom sobbed. Pearls scattering like tears. Lila whispered. We can fix this. Families sticks together. No, I said. Voice steel. Family betrays. Like you did me, the crash. Harlan. Your tip to the cops? The brakes you loosened in the garage that night after the fight. I remember dying. Screaming your name as the truck hit. The room froze. Gasps. Not from shock, recognition. In this timeline, it hadn't happened yet. But their faces? They knew the blueprint. Twist of the knife. The real secret. Not just fraud. The crash was premeditated, but not by Harlan alone. Dad's doing. Whispered in a boozy confession post-funeral last life. Had to protect the name. Son. You were gonna blow it all. Collusion. Generational rot. I'd been the scapegoat. The loose end snipped. Harlan cracked first. It was business. MO. You were weak, always the dreamer. Dragging us into your bullshit startups. Dad agreed. We made it look like an accident. Mom nodded through tears. Lila? Silent complicity. Dad's face crumbled. Empire King reduced to beggar. Forgive us.
Boy.
Blood's thicker. I laughed. Bitter as black coffee. Controversial? Hell yes, family forgiveness was the American dream. Hallmark wrapped. But mine was nightmare fuel. Blood washes out. Mine didn't. I hit send on the IRS app. Anonymous drop. Timestamps ironclad. Sirens would wail by dawn. As feds swarmed weeks later, Harlan in cuffs. Mom plea bargaining for house arrest. Lila flipping for leniency. Dad called from his nursing home. Voice frail. Proud of you, Monroe. Finally the man. I hung up. Net worth ticking to $5 mil on a VC close. Victory?
Pyrrhic.
The black sheep stood alone. Fleece golden. But the flock scattered. Empty chairs at future tables. Reborn. I learned. Revenge isn't sweet. It's ash. But damn if it didn't warm the bones. The fallout hit like a nor'easter. Winds howling through the family group chat I'd long muted, now a graveyard of pleas and recriminations. Monroe, you destroyed us. Harlan's last text before his lawyer yanked his phone. Mom's voicemails, sobs laced with venom. How could you betray your own blood? Irony. Thy name is kin. I deleted them all, blocking numbers like sealing tombs. But sleep? That traitor evaded me. Nights replaying the lounge showdown in 4K horror, faces twisting from smug to spectral under the club's brass lamps. By November, Philly's leaves turned crimson, mirroring the blood money Harlan had spilled. My startup, Monroe Analytics, irony dialed to 11, launched beta from a co-working space in Old City. The app, AI that sniffed fraud in construction bids, cross-referencing public records with sentiment scans from contractor forums. VCs swarmed post-reveal. That country club whisper network worked both ways. Series A closed at $10 mil valuation. My cut pushing net worth past $8 million. Forbes 30 under 30 buzzed. The prodigal son of Philly's building boom. Prodigal?
Nah.
Avenging angel. Wings clipped but soaring. Yet the tension coiled tighter. A spring wound by ghosts. Dad's cancer, prostate, stage 3, flared faster than last life. Stress, the accelerant. He refused chemo, holing up in the McMansion with a nurse and his regrets. I'd visit Sundays. The drive from my new condo in Rittenhouse Square, a gauntlet of memories. The overpass where Harlan swerved. The diner where Lila confessed her cut of the laundering over pancakes. Syrup sweet as her lies. First visit post-drop. He sat in the sunroom. For drip mocking his once broad shoulders. M.O., he rasped. Eagles game muted on the flat screen. You were right. About everything. His hand, veined like cracked marble, gripped mine. Harlan's talking plea, 10 years. Maybe less. Your mother's. Gone to her sister's in Florida.
Disgraced.
The word hung. Philly's socialite circles closing ranks. Invitations revoked like scarlet letters. I nodded. Throat tight. Controversial urge. Pull him close. Forgiven whispers. Rewrite the script. But the scar tissue metaphorical now. No crash wounds itched.
Why?
Dad? The crash plan. You signed off. He winced. Morphine dulling edges. Legacy. Son. Harlan was the heir, sharp. Ruthless. You? Too soft. Always chasing stars. When you found the files, I panicked. Called Harlan. Said handle it. Thought it'd be a scare.
Not.
His voice broke. The truck driver confessed. Paid off by your brother. I didn't know. Lies or half-truths? My gut twisted. The same nausea from dying seconds. But pity crept in, unbidden. Family's curse, love as shackle. I left with a promise. I'll cover treatments and a check for $500,000. Anonymous through his lawyer. Mercy. The most controversial cut of all. Harlan's trial loomed like a storm front. December docket in federal court. I could have ghosted. Let justice grind Sand's audience. But revenge demanded spectacle. Witness stand. Not shadows. Prep meetings with the DA. A bulldog named Vasquez. Philly born. Badge polished. Your testimony seals it. Mr.
Hale.
Embezzlement. Conspiracy to commit murder? He's looking at 25 to life. Murder. The word landed heavy. No accident label to soften. I handed over dash cam recreations from memory. Brake fluid analyses I'd commissioned retroactively. Evidence forged in foresight. Courtroom day. Snow dusting the steps of the William J. Green building. Press milling like vultures. I slipped in back row. Incognito in wool coat and fedora. Nod to noir flicks. My guilty escape. Harlan up front. Orange jumpsuit clashing his tan. Lawyer a slick weasel from Center City. Mom testified first. Tear-streaked. My baby wouldn't. It's the stress. Bullshit. Her ledgers screamed complicity. Lila flipped hard. State's witness. Spilling gallery guts for immunity. Harlan pressured me. Said it was family business. Monroe never knew. Her eyes met mine across the aisle. Pleading. I looked away. The sister who'd braided my hair now Judas in heels. My turn. Sworn in. Hand steady on the Bible, I half believed. Vasquez led gentle. Timeline of discovery. The attic flash drive. Confrontation night. Then the hook, Mr. Hale. Describe the evening of October 31st, 2018. Harlan's head snapped up. I leaned in. Voice carrying to jury box. Blue-collar mix. Hard hats off. Brother called. Voice slurry from the club. Come home.
M.O.
Dad's bad. I drove. Rain sheeting. His Audi tailed me onto 76. Then.
Swerved.
Lights and mirror. Deliberate. Brakes failed. Soft pedal. Like gel. I spun. Semi-clipped me. Last thought. Betrayal. Gasps from gallery. Harlan's lawyer objected. Speculation. But judge overruled. Gavel sharp. Cross-exam. Weasel prodded. You resented your brother's success.
Correct?
Motive to fabricate. I smiled.
Cool.
Resentment? Sure. But facts don't lie. Your clients do. Jury nodded. Seed of doubt flowered. Verdict. Guilty. All counts. Harlan snarled as cuffs clicked. This ain't over. M.O. Blood debt. 22 years. No parole. Mom, 5. Community service. Lila. Probation. Gallery shuttered. Dad watched from home. Chemo finally greenlit on my dime. Post-trial glow faded fast. January brought hackers. Harlan's prison proxies. Doxing my condo. Slashing tires on my Tesla. Threats scrawled on office windows. Black sheep bleeds red. Security upped. PI hired. Ex-cop named Ruiz. Grizzled from Kensington beats. You poked the bear.
Kid.
Bears bite back. Controversial? Arm myself. Glock 19. Concealed carry after range hours. Philly streets talk quick. Trust no one. Not even victory. Business boomed amid chaos. Monroe Analytics inked deals with big builders. Comcast Center Renos. Eagles Stadium upgrades. Net worth crested $15 mil. Yacht invites from Hamptons weekends I dodged. Media frenzy. Revenge of the Nerd Heir headlines. Podcasts dissecting the Hale Dynasty implosion. I played coy. Interviews sparse. Charm dialed low. But inside, tension simmered. Rebirth's high crashing into isolation blues. Lila reached out first. Unblocked number pinging at 2 a.m. Coffee? Please. M.O. For old times. Neutral ground. Reading Terminal Market. Tourists shuffling past Amish pies. She arrived gaunt. No makeup armor. Coat frayed. I was scared, she started. Latte steaming. Harlan's grip. Threats if I talked. Mom, too. You were the outsider. Always. Lies wrapped in truth. I sipped black. Watching her fidget. Outsider? I was the fix. Lila. Your mess cleaner. She teared up. Forgive? Rebuild. The ask hung. Controversial fork. Pull her in. Sister redemption arc. Or sever. I chose middle. Burner check for her fresh start. Terms. Therapy. No contact with remnants. Don't make me regret it. She hugged fierce. Scent of vanilla like childhood forts. Mercy again. Bleeding me dry. Dad's decline accelerated spring thaw. Hospital vigils. Beeps sinking my pulse. His confession spilling like 4 drips. Raised you wrong. M.O. Pushed Harlan. Ignored you. That flash drive? Buried it myself. After your mom begged. Layers peeled. Her lover. A contractor. The real embezzlement architect. Dad covered for love. Harlan for power. End it, he whispered. Eyes milky. Expose her too. Temptation flared. Press the leak. Torch the matriarch. But I held. Hand in his. Rest. Dad. Legacy's mine now. He passed April Fools. Joke cruel as karma. Funeral. Sparse. Snow flurries mocking azaleas. I eulogized. Words steel-wrapped silk. He built empires. But forgot foundations. Weary builds stronger. Harlan's letter from jail, smuggled via lawyer. Rot in hell. Brother. I burned it. Ashes to wind. Summer solstice. Net worth $25 mil on IPO whispers. Penthouse views of Schuylkill glittering. But empty. Dates ghosted on family drama. Friends scarce. Rebirth's toll. Paranoia. The what-ifs. What if no crash? Would I forgive? Thrive in shadows? Tension peaked at a gala. Philly Tech Awards. Spotlight hot. Award in hand for Innovator of the Year. Speech prepped. But stage fright hit. Not fear. Flash of dying. Blood in throat. I ad-libbed. Success isn't solo. It's surviving the knives from those closest. Crowd applauded. Cameras flashed. Backstage. A ghost. Kendra. Harlan's ex. Filing divorce from afar. Heard the story. Deserved. Her hand lingered. Red nails on my lapel. Spark? Maybe. Controversial. Dating the enemy's widow. Salt in wounds. We dined post-gala. Italian in South Philly. Her laugh thawing ice. You're not what they said. Not broken. Nights blurred. Boardrooms by day. Her bed by night. Kendra. Sharp. unscarred by my baggage. Harlan was poison. You? Antidote. But doubts gnawed. Using her for closure? Or real? Twist brewed. Her pregnancy reveal. Twins his. Complicating custody from cell block. Autumn winds carried warnings. Ruiz's report. Mom plotting appeal. Lila dipping into gifts. Betrayals echo. I fortified. Trusts locked. Will revised. Net worth? $40 mil. But wealth's hollow without trust. Climax brewed at Dad's grave. All Souls Day. Lila showed. Sober 6 months. Miss him. Miss us. Hug tentative. Then Mom, Florida tanned. Eyes viper. You owe me.
Boy.
That leak? Blackmail material. Her phone, old pics. Me as teen. Party haze underage by. Nothing felonious but smear ready. Rage ignited. Controversial peak. Snatch the phone. Smash on tombstone. Oh, you killed the boy who trusted. She recoiled. Lila gasped. Cops called. Assault charge threatened. I walked. Ruiz's card-flashing badge. Self-defense.
Ma'am.
Back off. Winter closed in. Kendra's belly rounding. Marry me, she asked. Snow blanketing Rittenhouse. I paused. Heart thudding. Rebirth's gift choice. Yes. Vows small. Justice poetic. Harlan's kids under my roof. Cycle broken? But twist. Letter from him. Parole whisper. Coming for what's mine, your life. M.O. Threat or bluff. Tension eternal. But I stood taller. Black sheep no more, ram. Horns locked. The wedding was a quiet affair. December frost etching the windows of our Rittenhouse chapel like lace on a shroud. Kendra in ivory silk. No veil, no hiding, she said. Hand on her swell. Witnesses. Ruiz as best man. A VA buddy from her divorce wars. Lila as maid of honor. Redemption robe ill-fitting but worn. Mom, uninvited. Florida exile self-imposed. Harlan's shadow loomed via postcard. Congrats. Brother. Enjoy the honeymoon while it lasts. I crumpled it, but sleep fractured. Dreams of semis and smirks. Net worth stabilized at $45 mil post-IPO. Monroe Analytics stock ticker humming on NASDAQ feeds. Boardrooms bowed. Expansions to NYC. DC bids on federal contracts. Disrupt or die. I'd quip. Channeling Harlan's ghost for armor. But home? Sanctuary fragile. Kendra's cravings at 2 a.m., pickles and prosciutto, grounded me. Her laugh echoing off marble counters. The twins kicked like Morse code. Stay. Fight.
Live.
January thawed secrets. Lila's relapse, a bender texted Dawn. Help. M.O. It's her, Mom's pushing. P.I. Ruiz tailed. Mom in a seedy motel off 95. Meeting lowlifes, Harlan's old crew. Union busters turned enforcers. Plot. Kidnap leverage for appeal.
Target me, or the unborn.
Controversial calculus. Warn feds. Risk her walk, confront. Bait the trap. I chose hunt, gear up. Glock holstered. Ruiz shotgun rider. Stakeout night. Sleet slashing windshields. Motel neon buzzing vacancy like a dirge. Mom emerged. Coat huddled. Sliding into a Crown Vic with plates traced to a Cayman shell. Harlan's touch. We tailed to a warehouse in Frankfurt. Rust Belt relic Dad's firm once flipped. Inside, shadows shifting. Voices muffled. The boys loaded, snatch him. Ransom for the plea. Mom's hiss. And the kids? Collateral. Ice in veins. My family. Monsters unmasked. Raid. Ruiz called backup, but adrenaline surged solo. Door creaked. Glock steady. 3 goons tattooed relics spun. 1 drawing. Drop it. My shot winged shoulder. Thunderclap in the gloom. Mom screamed from crates. Monroe. No. Chaos. Ruiz bursting. Cuffs clicking. Feds swarmed post-call, her face crumpling as Miranda rapped. For him. Always for Harlan. Interrogation vid later. Full confession. Harlan's prison orchestration. Her desperation fuel. Added counts. Conspiracy. Attempted extortion. Life sans parole.
Appeals dust.
Lila clean shot her statement. Severance final. I choose you now. Bro. Blood? Thinned. But not severed. Spring bloomed violent. Twins arrived April. Boys screaming into dawn at Jefferson Hospital. Alexander and Bennett. Names from Dad's war stories. Kendra's eyes. My chin. Hybrids of hate turned hope. Harlan's biolink. Irrelevant. I adopted seamless. Papers inked. Paternity suits quashed by his cell solitude. Business apex. Senate hearing. My testimony on fraud tech. Transparency isn't optional. It's survival. Senators nodded. Bill sponsored. Hale Act. Ironic crown. Net worth? $60 mill. Philanthropy arm seated. Scholarships for black sheep kids. Community college boosts. Philly rags hailed. From family feud to folk hero. But tensions undercurrent never ebbed. Summer barbecue at the shore house. Dad's old Avalon retreat. Waves crashing like applause. Lila grilled veggie skewers. Sober chip on shoulder. Kendra nursed Alex. Bennett gnawing my pinky. Ruiz crashed. Beer and paw. You did it.
Kid.
Empire yours. Dusk fell. Fire pit crackling. Stories swapped. Kendra's influencer escape. My crash phantom. Then the call. Warden's line. Harlan's voice gravel post-riot. Heard about the boys.
Cute.
But blood calls. M.O. Parole board next year. Good behavior.
Click.
Chill wind off Atlantic. Ghost swam. Controversial dawn. Visit him? Last right. Closure's blade. I drove upstate August. Sing Sing's gates yawning like judgment. Visitation booth. Plexi scratched. His face gaunt. Ink fresh. Wolf snarling shoulder. Brother, he grinned. Teeth yellow. Look at you, king of the heap. Words ward. Hate.
Pity.
Nothing.
Why?
Harlan? Power? Or just? Empty. He leaned. Breath fogging glass. You were always the threat, pure. Like Dad wanted before he broke. I fixed it. Confession hung. No tape rolling my play. Twist, not rage. But release. Fixed nothing. Rot from inside. I stood. Chair scraping. Stay caged. His laugh chased me out. Family forever.
Montag.
Watch your back. Return south. Kendra waiting, dinner steaming. Boys cooing. Over? She asked. Wine poured. For now. We made love slow. Reclaiming skin from scars. Fall harvest. Lila's gallery reboot. Clean, my seed money. Strings ethical. Mom's appeal crushed. Transfer to Supermax. Dad's grave tended. Epitaph etched. Builder of men. Lies.
but peace.
Climax crested Thanksgiving, table groaning turkey. Extended kin, Ruiz's crew. Kendra's sister. No hails but us. Toasts clinked, to resets. Laughter real. Tension uncoiled like old rope. But twists barb, December letter. Anonymous, Harlan's hand. Psychic sure. The crash? Not first. Remember the fire. Age 12. Dad's shed. Your experiment. I lit the match. Blamed you. Black sheep born that night. Memory flooded. Flames licking model rocket fuel. My screams. Scars faded, but soul deep. The origin betrayal. Cradle to grave. Rage? No, catharsis. I burned it. Ashes to skulkle. Rebirth full circle, not just revenge, but rebirth true. Net worth immaterial, wealth in the unbroken, Kendra's hand. Boys' giggles, Lila's grin. Ending? No tidy bow. Harlan's parole denied, my testimony. Fraud links unearthed. He rots. Echo fading.
Me, CEO dad.
Husband fierce. Brother mended. Black sheep?
Myth.
Ram risen. Flock my own. America's grit. Betray. Break. Build. I chose the last.
Horns high.